If you haven't had an opportunity to watch the latest episode of The Walking Dead, stop listening now. Major spoilers, here we go. Tonight was the 5th season's mid-season finale, and it's something else, man. New enemies disregard rules and morals. Although Rick wants to find a peaceful agreement, the enemies seem to prefer a more violent resolution. Here's the picture that I'm going to paint for you. This is how the episode began. There's a guy running, and then there's a zombie. And then there's a guy trying to break free of his fisticuffs. And then there's guys running. And then there's a familiar pair of pants running. And then there's a zombie. And then there's a guy trying to break free of his fisticuffs. And then there is another guy running. And then a familiar guy running. A zombie gets his stomach sliced. And then all of a sudden, Rick Grimes is inside of a cop car chasing down the officer that he's going to hit and break its back. So Rick ran down this officer. He's like, stop. On the loudspeaker, he's stop. You need to stop. Slow down. Stop running. Never. Boom. Hit him with the car. The dude broke its back. Walks up to the dude. The dude's like, help me, please. Like, you wouldn't stop. It's your own fault. I told you to stop. But all you want to do is not stop, so therefore I had to break your back. And now I'm gonna shoot you in the head. Bow! Shoots him right in the brains, man. Doom. Done. All of a sudden, the credit scene. And then all of a sudden, and then boom, we come into the Father Gabriel. We come into the next scene with Father Gabriel, and he's trying to, how do you want to say? He's trying to bring a little bit of redemption, I think, to his story, man. And I think he does this one. He revisits the school where Gareth, the people from Terminus, were set up as, and you get to see Bob's barbecue leg. Literally, I stopped eating. There was a little bit of vomit in my mouth, and there were maggots crawling on the leg. Like, it's just something that I can't get out of my mind. Like, they actually showed it. Anyway, Father Gabriel, he leads every victim that is now a walker back to the church, and then he puts them inside, places them inside of the church. Michonne, helps him get back inside of the church because he gets surrounded by those school walkers, we can call them. And then Carl, he helps out. Baby Julius on Michonne's back the whole entire time. They climb out of the church underneath the office, little trap door or whatever. And then the walkers are all inside of the church, I guess, taking communion. Anyway, fast forwarding in the episode, Abraham, they arrive in order to save Michonne, Carl, and Father Gabriel, because the church that is secure now, with just a plywood, secure with a plywood door, like a piece of plywood, or a PR 2x4, gets broken because of all the pressure. And then Abraham, they show up. Michonne talks to Maggie and says, that Beth's alive. And then Abraham, he and the rest of the group, they show you this kind of like off camera. They kill everybody in the church and secure the church, I guess you will. Or not really secure, but kind of just leave it to where nobody's surprised if the walkers and stuff come out of there or come back, I guess you could say. If somebody comes back there, the walkers won't be there. Anyway, Rick and the gang, they decide to devise a plan using the people from the hospital, just because Rick ran down this other guy because he wouldn't stop running. That was the only reason. He convinces the other two officers that, hey, this is the best option, man. Gonna switch over to Beth. Beth and Dawn, they start to kind of build a little bit of a relationship or rapport. And you kind of understand a little bit more about Dawn. Dawn had this captain before her that was called Captain Hansen, and that's the photo that's inside of the office that Dawn is really, really, secure or how you want to say insecure about. She's like, make sure you put it back in the same spot. The whole thing is that Captain Hansen, he, for some reason, went crazy. Well, we find out that he really didn't go crazy. He just lost the respect of his people. And then Dawn was the one that killed Captain Hansen, okay? What she said at first is that Captain Hansen lost sight of the risk, and that's why he stepped down or died or whatever. But we find out that Don was actually one that killed him. And she says, you don't need their love, you need their respect. And once they lose respect for you, then, pretty much you have a mutiny on your hands, and people start, trying to run your ship. So that can't happen. We find this situation where Dawn knows everything that has happened to Beth. Like, she knows that Beth stole the medicine. She knows that Beth had the key. She knows that Beth knows Carol. And then there's this officer that listens in on the conversation. He's one of the bad officers, I guess you can say. And then he confronts Dawn. Dawn and him get into a wrestling match. They tussle, they fight, they punch each other. And then the elevator shaft where Noah and Beth went down, she kicks the officer. He kicks him. Well, she kicks him first. He punches her and tries to choke her. Beth tries to attack the guy. He backhands her. And then once he's focused on Beth, Dawn kind of does this Batman judo chop to the throat, Austin Powers style. And then Beth pushes him down the elevator shaft, boom, to his death. Once Abraham and the gang arrive and Michonne tells Maggie that Beth is alive, they kind of share this mini reunion moment. And then we get to see Rick Grimes. He is in the middle of this parking lot in downtown Atlanta somewhere, and he's making a negotiation with these officers. He's telling them, what I'm going to give you, or what I want to give you, is my officer for your officer. And that was kind of cool, man. He said Shepard and LaCourty for Beth and Carol. And then in order to kind of, I guess, seal the deal and make sure that they didn't double cross them, Sasha is used to where she's able to do this sniper moment, and she snipes this zombie in the head. He's like, well, where's your people? They're watching, they're close, and then she shoots him, and then we're good to go. Anyway, they go inside of the hospital. Beth and Dawn, they have this moment where, Dawn's kind of, trying to reason with Beth to stay there and kind of convince her that, she's on the right side of this war. And Carol wakes up, and then we see the next scene is where Rick and then Dawn, they're together, and they're facing each other, and they do the handoff. Well, all of a sudden, once the handoff is done, and you have Carol and Beth back in the hands of the group, and then you have the other two officers, Shepard and LaCourty, they're back on the other side with Dawn. Dawn says, that's not it. The deal's not done. I need Noah. And then Rick is like, what? What did you say? You need who? That wasn't part of the deal. He's staying with me. He comes with me. And then what ends up happening is that Noah says, no, it's okay. He's like, I got this. It's okay. This has to be done. And the reason why, I guess, Dawn said that is because, Beth was part of the group. And since she lost one, she needs to get one back to have the same amount of group or same members. Anyway, Noah starts walking over there. Beth runs back and says, no, Noah. She gives him a hug. And then Dawn says to her something that triggers in her. Okay, like triggers her to kind of understand everything that she was talking about. You know what I'm saying? Almost like, earning their respect. The reason why Captain Hansen got killed, everything became so clear to her. And then she's like, you know what? Now I understand. Now, I'm going to back up for a second. Previously, before they got inside of that hallway, Beth was getting ready for, I guess, the handoff, and then she put a pair of scissors inside of her cast for her little wrist or her arm when she fell down or whatever. She walks up to Beth. Now, this is back in the same scene we're in the hallway. She's like, now I understand. She's in front of Beth, she's in front of Dawn. Beth is in front of Dawn, face to face. She takes out the scissors, stabs Beth, like in the throat or in the shoulder or somewhere where she hurts her, you know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden, as soon as she stabs Dawn, there's a gun, you hear the sound of a gun firing. It's like, pow! And Beth gets the back of her brains blown out. It looks like Dawn had shot her, not pointing or not aiming. And it might have been on accident. I don't know. Because she does say, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. and everybody just reacts, man. First, Rick just starts crying. Carol starts crying. Everybody's like in shock, and then Daryl walks up to Don, pulls the trigger, pow, shoots him. She shoots her. She's dead, and then everybody decides eventually to calm down. Everything's okay, and then they walk out. Daryl's holding Beth inside of his arms, and Maggie walks up with the rest of Abraham and the rest of the gang, and she just breaks down crying. And that's it, man. Like, it was just a crazy episode, guys. Rest in peace, man, to Beth Green. I just didn't think it was gonna happen like that tonight. I really didn't. And the next rest of the season that returns in February, it's gonna be insane. Thanks again for watching, guys, for listening. Comment, like, subscribe. I really want to hear from you guys, man. What do you think about this Beth Green, the death, man? I'm out here.